He actually did it. He actually did it. Man Cub washed all the dishes from the party the other night. I went to bed last night and they were still out on the counter, and I'm like, okay, let me just wait. And I sure enough woke up this morning and they were all washed. That Man Cub. Well, look at that. I like the idea of that. This piece of plywood coming across the top. Usually this all ends up in one big pile and all of this here. And then I can't find anything, but maybe if I have a habit of keeping a piece of plywood here, I can actually keep things a little more organized for work. What do you guys think? I think I'm onto something here. All right, all loaded up and ready to go for today. Today's one of my long days, so I'm gone from morning to night. I'm having a little bit of a hard time, like making, because you do it every day. Like, how do you make it interesting every day? You know, but I'm just doing it. This Chaya here grows really well, and we just really trimmed down the bush, so I have a lot of extra. And usually I'll use it for biomass, or I'll restart it in other places like I've done around the garden here. But right now it's free material to actually line the beds so that we can delineate between the beds and the pathways. That way during the summer when our grasses are really growing, we can mow them and know where where the beds are, because the grasses will take over the beds, it'll take over everything. But it's all good stuff. It's fertilizer, it's building soil, so I don't fight the weeds. I let them grow and then I use them to my advantage. Alright, let me see if I can get the other row started. See, it's starting to get seeds. That's why I want to take it down. Yes. That would be. See, he just makes it so easy. So do you remember why we're cutting it down? Why? Because it's, do you remember the word I told you? No. Invasive. And that means that it doesn't belong here, and it grows really well here. seeds are starting to form on it? Look. You see here, those little balls? Yeah. So before they get mature, well, it's called Brazilian pepper. So you can use it like pepper. So if some grows, then we'll collect it and maybe put it in the grinder. But we're going to try and, before it grows too much, just take some of it down. Especially the part that's breaking the fence, right? Especially the part that's I came home from work today and I was so hungry, and I took chicken out last night for Man Cub to make, but he didn't make it, so I made it when I came home. I made like a arroz con pollo, but I made it with cauliflower rice, and I mean traditionally we cook the chicken and the rice and everything together in one pot. But you really cannot do that with the cauliflower rice. So I made the chicken. I did it in the Instapot, so it was super quick. I just sauteed it with the seasonings and tomatoes, onions, garlic. And once it was all browned up, I just closed it and put it on the pressure cook for like 5 minutes and let that happen, and then cook the cauliflower rice separately with a little bit of onion. And so all I did was put this down on a plate, and then I put the chicken on top of that and ate it like that. It was delicious. It was delicious. Now Man Cub is gonna eat the rest of it. But I am over here making coconut milk, and I didn't think I thought I wanted to film it, and then I forgot and I started. So I use any kind of, I can use coconut flour, coconut flake, anything when the ingredient is just 100% pure coconut. That's it, nothing else. And I love that this one is organic. So I'm using about a half of this bag to make the coconut milk, but I think next time I will even just do a third of it. But whatever's on sale, as long as the ingredients are good, it'll all work. I boiled some water. So I put the coconut flour in here, and then I boiled some water and I put it in there. I'm gonna mix it, I'm gonna strain it, and then I'm gonna add another pot of water to it because I have so much coconut flake in there. So it should make a good amount of coconut milk. Usually I don't sweeten it. I just keep it without sweetening. I put just a pinch of salt in there. And then that way, if I want to make it sweet, I can make it sweet. If I want to use it in a savory dish, I can use it in a savory dish. Dancing. So here I have a jar set up with a strainer and some cheesecloth, and I'm going to run it through, and then I'm going to do a second batch. This usually takes a little while for it to strain out. I think I want to make this a little more. And then the leftover part, the coconut that's left, I put that in the fridge, and then I can use it as a warm porridge with more coconut milk and maybe a little maple syrup and some cinnamon. And I can do that, eat it cold like that too, which is really, really delicious. So I like to use that as sometimes I have, my sweet little bedtime snack. But it's so delicious. I can just drink it just like that. Like, you know how you have a glass of milk? I have a glass of coconut milk. It's so good. I use dairy, but I tend to not do so good if I have a lot of dairy. So this morning I added some egg yolks and some whey protein. We'll talk about that. So I like this one. It's raw grass-fed whey, and it has 21 grams of protein in a serving. So, you know, at this age, in order to save our muscles and to keep our muscles and to gain more muscle, we need to make sure that we're getting enough protein and enough amino acids to be able to keep that going for us. So let this strain for a while, and then I'll get back to you later to show you the finished product. Help it along a little bit. Okay, I see that my water's boiling, and I'm pretty much done with what I have in the blender. So I'm gonna pass it through one more time. I'm gonna put this the coconut that I've already used back in here, and then pour more hot water and blend it up. I'm gonna do one of the. I did 1 tablespoon last time. I'm gonna try 2 today. Because it could have been a little bit thicker, and I think I'm making more quantity. Can you guess what that is by looking at the package with it backwards? Unflavored, grass-fed beef gelatin. You know, the thickeners that they use in ice creams and coconut milks and all of this stuff is really so bad for our microbiome. And it's very hard not to find any that's already prepared that doesn't have it in there. Where am I going to put all this coconut milk, you ask? It's a good question. I'm recycling this jug to put the coconut milk in because I have all of that and that. So should be able to fit in here.